This is a concept that's never discussed. If the property has been owned by more than 2 owners over the last 10 years, more than likely we're not buying it. There's a reason why. Welcome to the Heartland Multifamily Show, the shorter, more profitable path to multifamily ownership and investing. Everybody, it's Darren Garman, and I want to welcome you to this episode of the Heartland Multifamily Show, the place for all things multifamily. And guys, I'm really looking forward to diving into this topic with you today because, quite frankly, it's something that's not discussed, especially when it comes to, not only buying multifamily real estate, but really real estate in general. You don't really see this in terms of red flags. You don't really see this in terms of mistakes that are made. And it has to do with making sure you don't buy real estate from these people. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Darren, wait a minute. Are you discriminating here? Or what are you talking about? When you say this group of people or these people, what are you getting at? No, I'm not going down that road, so don't worry. So let me set the frame for you here. I want to set this up for you and use a real property to pretty much bake in my point with you on this. We were approached to buy a 180 unit apartment community, I want to say probably 3 or 4 years ago. When we were looking at it, one of the things that I knew about the property was that it had recently been purchased. And by recently, I'm talking within the last 3 or 4 years, I knew it had been purchased. And when we're looking at this property, I say to myself, why would someone want to sell only after owning it 4 years? Okay, and obviously, there's 2 reasons why you would sell after 4 years. One is you have such a lucrative dollar figure dangled in front of you that it's like, okay, I do the math in my head, then I do the energy we spent, time and effort we spent. Okay, we're selling. So that's one reason why you sell. Another reason you sell is you're in trouble. The math goes negative. It's a sunken investment over time exercise. So in other words, we're not going to sink any more time, any more effort, any more energy, or any more money into this property. So those are the only real 2 reasons why someone is looking at selling only after owning it 3 to 4 years. That's basically it. So I'm looking at this property and 4 years. So all right, I dig into it a little bit deeper. And by the way, I knew who the owner was, which is how I knew they only owned it for 4 years. I knew the owner. So then I remember that they bought the property about 3 to 4 years prior to that. So here we've got a property that's had 2 sets of owners in the last 8 years. So I dig into this and start doing some research. And I noticed that 15 years ago, the property was sold by an owner that owned it a little bit over 10 years. Then, 3 years later, the property was sold again. Then, 4 years later, the property was sold again. Then 5 years later, it was sold to the owner that owned the property when it was presented to me, and he's selling it another 4 years later. So think about this. Over a 15-year period, 15 years, this property had been owned by 4 owners over a 15-year period. Now, knowing that, is this the kind of property you would buy? I hope the answer is no. It's not the kind of property that you would buy, which is one of my main litmus tests. This is a concept that's never discussed. If the property has been owned by more than 2 owners over the last 10 years, more than likely we're not buying it. There's a reason why. That tells you that there's something more than likely wrong with the property. You don't want to buy from these people that own and buy it and sell it within a 2 to 4 period, 5-year period of time. You don't want to do that. Maybe if that happens one time, but you dig into it and you find out, hey, this property's been sold 3 times over the last 10 years. Over the last 20 years, it's been sold 6 times. Because I guarantee you, at least 4 out of 5, of those people, those investors, those owners, those operators that owned it, wish they didn't own it, which is why they sold the property. Again, guys, this is something that's never talked about, but it's got to be one of your litmus tests. Hey guys, a lot of people contact me and want to know, where are the best resources when it comes to investing in multifamily? Where can I go? And the obvious answer is darrengarman.com. 99.9% of all of the items on the website are absolutely free. Start making that multifamily investment that you've been thinking about a great reality. Let's kind of continue with my story. This 180 unit property. So the 180 unit property is located here in my marketplace. And actually, it's only not even a mile away from my office where I'm having my podcast with you today. So I thought, you know what, just to, confirm, I want to go look at the property. So I made arrangements to go look at the property. And here's what I found out. One big word, it's erosion. So this property was built on the top of a big hill. This was like a bump hill. Okay, here's like the hill that it's on. Matter of fact, when you go into the property, the incline is so steep to go in and out of there, you better have emergency brakes. I mean, that's how steep this is. And that in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. But what I noticed around all of the buildings, under the sidewalks, the earth starting to fall away. Location after area after area after area of erosion happening. So I want you to think about this. Is erosion covered in any property casualty insurance policies? You have a serious erosion issue. The earth just falls away. Do you think that's covered by property casualty insurance? No, it's not. Think about the ongoing repair, maintenance costs of dealing with that. So I see that. And then things really start coming into focus in terms of why there'd been so many owners of this property over a 20-year period. They're dealing with this. So they probably went in there feeling optimistic, like, oh, this is no big deal. They find out after a few months, holy shit, this is a big deal. And now, oh, well, spend some money here, money there. We'll kind of Band-Aid it here, Band-Aid it there. And then they find out at the end of the day, the only real permanent solution is there isn't a permanent solution. Okay, now, is this example that I just gave you indicative of every single apartment community out there? No. The people you don't want to ever buy property from are the people that continue to ignore the fact that the property continues to be bought, owned, and sold over a 3-year period, 5-year period, 10-year period. If you have 3, 5, 6 owners that have owned it over a 15-year period, 20-year period, you need to ask yourself why and find out what those reasons are. Make sure you do that. And more than likely, it will be the kind of property. Again, I'm not just talking about multifamily. I'm talking about every kind of real estate that you're going to find out you're glad you didn't do. Because many times, guys, it's the deals you don't do that can be some of the most profitable deals that you do. All right. Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for joining me on this episode, this Avoid Buying Property from These People episode of the Heartland Multifamily Show. The place for all things multifamily. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. We'll see you. Bye-bye. If you want to get your hands on more great multifamily real estate content, make sure you click here. If you want to invest passively in great multifamily real estate, make sure you click here.